Yo, I got a scenario for you. For all of y'all, what would happen if I had superpowers, vampires, or whatever? Like, let's dive into it for a second. But there's gonna be a couple rules to this scenario. Rule number one, you still good with God. Like, you can still go to heaven if you live right. You know what I'm saying? If you can still go to heaven. Rule number two is you can still come outside in the daytime. The sun's not gonna burn you up. You know what I'm saying? So rule number one, you want to be good with God, you good with God. You know what I'm saying? Rule number two, the sun's not going to mess with you. All right, now let's dive into this scenario real quick. You are born dirt poor, in the streets, in the hood, you in Section 8 apartments, all the rest of this other stuff. All of a sudden, you see some old lady at the bodega. You went to go get a bacon, egg, and cheese. You see an old lady at the bodega, and she's like, yo, I want to give you something that I've never given anybody before because I'm choosing to pass on this gift so that I could just, do what I got to do. And you say, what is it? She says, yo, I can give you immortality. But you got to be careful because if people find out you're immortal, it could literally change your life for the worse, right? So you say, all right, bet, give me immortality. Let me get more time to try to figure this life out. So she bites you, you drink her blood. Next thing you know, you wake up the next morning, you a vampire. The question that I have is, would you bite your family? Would you turn them to vampires? Would you give the gift of immortality to your children? Who would you give it to? Would you bite your grandparents if they're still alive? What would you do? But before you answer that question and say, of course I would bite my children, bite my vampire. Hold on for a second. I want you to think about your gremlin ass kids right now. Think about your kids that make a mess every day, don't clean up behind themselves. Think about them and think about biting them and how that would mean they would be like that for the rest of their life. Part two, I want you to think about your spouse. You really want to be with this person for the rest of all eternity. Is that what you want to do? You really want to bite them? Think about it. What if they don't want to be alive all that time? What happens if you bite somebody and then they go and bite somebody else? And then all of a sudden there's mad vampires running around here. How can you know you could trust them with the gift? I don't know. I'm just asking questions. I just know that if it was me, and if I had the gift of immortality and I was a vampire, at first, I'm not going to lie. All right, hold on. I'm not going to lie. At first, I was like, you know what? I would go first prove that I'm a vampire. Like, I would show up at the White House and be like, to the orange man or whoever would listen, would be like, yo, I'm a vampire. Here's the proof I'm a vampire. Try to shoot me with this gun or something like that. Like, I'm not going to die. All right, bet I'm a vampire. Like, yo, give me $100 million and then I'll give you the gift of immortality. But then the more I thought about it, I was like, nah, you don't want to do that, because if you start giving people the gift of immortality, next thing you end up with like dynasties that last thousands of years, or people don't want to give it up, controlling other people, all the other vampire parts. But more importantly, like, what's $100 million of immortality? Like, why not ask for $1 billion? Why not ask for $2 billion, $3 billion? But then you're only giving it to the wealthy. What about the people that really deserve it? What about the meek, the humble? What about the people that's from the same Section 8 apartments you from? I don't know what I would do. So I'm asking TikTok. Next time you go get that bacon, egg, and cheese, that lady's there for that vampire. She's trying to bite you. You get bit. What do you do next? Let me know in the comments. Let me know.